Congratulations, gentlemen. Here today we have head coach Adam Nightingale, senior captain Matt Basgall, who had an assist today. We have freshman Riker Lee, who had a goal today, and freshman Porter Martone, who had a goal and an assist today. We'll start off with some thoughts from Coach, and then we'll move into questions for the student athletes. Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I thought UConn was really good. I thought they were the better team, and I think that's just the reality. We've been on the other side of it, where I felt that way, and we've lost in single elimination. I thought Trey was the best player on the ice by a country mile, and ton of respect for how hard they played. You know, we got ourselves in some penalty trouble. You know, that's not a recipe to keep playing this time of the year, so we got to clean that up. But I liked, you know, that third period. I thought we did a lot of good stuff, and you know, with our group understanding to play with poise in these moments, and with a lot of new guys their first time in the tournament, I think they showed a lot of resilience and finding a way to get the job done. And so we definitely got to clean some stuff up and be better. And again, ton of respect for UConn, and for sure a tough out.
All right. If anybody has questions for the student athletes, you can raise your hand. Josh can pass out a mic. We'll start over here. And if you can just say your name and affiliation as well to start.
Thank you. John Doyle from USCHO.com. Questions for Porter. Can you tell me what you saw on your goal, starting with the turnover in the UConn zone?
Yeah, I felt like me and Shao just pressure, hard up the ice, and the D kind of coughed it up there, and I fed it back to Shouds, and he made it really easy on me. He put it right in my wheelhouse, and froze the goalie pretty well. So that was nice to see that go in and get the lead there.
Audrey Dayton with the State News. Riker, can you talk us through your goal that you had, starting with getting back checked at the blue line and then your decision to keep that in, attack the net?
Yeah, I think we were ready. We knew they were going to come out hard at us on the power play, so we were ready for that. And then just kind of breaking that pressure, and I was kind of walking downhill and saw some space to take it to the net and thought, why not? And luckily it went in.
Questions? Ryan?
Ryan Lambert from Elite Prospects. Matt, ton of penalties today, as your coach said. Like, what do you think you were doing well as a group to kind of shut them down?
I thought we showed a lot of resilience. They came in waves, and it's a little bit more hectic. I say this humbly, we haven't been an underdog in this tournament. The underdogs really have nothing to lose. They come out flying. They're throwing the body around, chucking pucks all over the net. I think our guys did a good job at responding, staying steady. There were times at the TV timeouts we had to talk stuff through, kind of regroup and settle down. In the D zone, it can get a little bit hectic, but just get to your spots. And you just understand what the assignment is. Don't be caught running around. We've been great in our D zone all year. I think we just had to win the blue lines, get pucks out, be responsible with the puck.
Right here in the front.
For Porter, first time playing an NCAA playoff game, how's that compared to the pressure and the stage of other playoff games, other postseason games in your career?
Yeah, this was awesome. It's kind of it's a really surreal moment when you walk in here, with your team, and you're in the NCAA tournament. At the end of the day, this is what you look up to. When you come in here in August and in July and kind of start your work is the NCAA tournament. And I know this team last year. This is kind of our goal to get back here to this game. It was unfortunate how things went out last year, and that was a big thing we talked about at the start of the year, like scars and how to come back and respond. And I love our group's response. Things weren't going our way at sometimes in this game, and we just stuck with it. That's how teams do. That's how great teams win, and just continue to stick with it and play our game.
Any more questions for the student athletes? All right, guys, you're good to go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
See you Saturday. Any questions for Coach? Anybody? We'll go Josh and then.
Josh Seguin, College Hockey News. Just talk about the penalty kill today. Obviously, you guys took some penalties, but you guys really, I think, did a good job with UConn shutting that power play down.
Yeah, I mean, Jared DeMichael runs our penalty kill. He's super detailed, puts a lot of time into it. He's passionate about it, and I think it goes back to, if you want to be a good penalty kill team, you got to make sure you have a good goalie, and we got a really good goalie, right? So if there are breakdowns, Trey seems to find a way to calm it down, and I thought we did a good job of limiting the amount of quality chances they had, and it starts with we won some face-offs. We did a good job on the forecheck, and I thought we could do a better job of clearing it. Especially UConn's got a lot of talent on their team, and that can lead to multiple opportunities. But I think Bazzi and these guys talking about it, I think that speaks a lot to the group, right? Is we're not going to spend our time arguing the call. Is if there's a call, then we got to stay focused and kill the penalty. And obviously, to kill 5 off against a team like that, I think that speaks to the group.
Ryan Lambert from Elite Prospects. Along those lines, didn't seem like they had a lot of second chance opportunities. Didn't seem like they really had a lot of sustained zone time despite 42 shots. I guess, what do you attribute that to?
Well, we knew going in, they definitely like to put pucks on net, and so, you gotta keep your poise, right? It's one thing to give up shots and from the outside, especially with the good goalies. If we do a good job in front of our goalie and we box out and Trey can see it from the outside, he's probably gonna stop it, and then, anytime there is a second chance, you gotta be really good and no second opportunities and really good. I thought our D were really good on the backside, on the back post today. There was a couple opportunities where there's a rebound there and our D, did a really good job. And I mean, it's a skill you gotta acquire, you gotta work at. A lot of times, when guys don't keep their head, they're cross-checking and the puck's on the ice and all of a sudden the guy scores the goal, right? The goal is to try to keep it out of your net. And I thought our D did a heck of a job on those second opportunities of protecting us on the back post.
How do you think the team did just handling their emotions throughout the game, especially like at the start?
Good, yeah. I mean, one thing I've loved about this team is, and our staff is that they got a ton of enthusiasm and a ton of jam. And, I mean, it's been awesome. I mean, our practices and just being around this group, I mean, they truly have a passion for playing hockey. And, but, you can lose control of that at times and it can boil over. And I thought there was a little sequence there where we maybe went over the edge, and I don't think we're a good team if we don't get right to the edge, and we got to play with passion and emotion. And actually, Patrick Geary's really stepped up and be a leader and talk to the group about it. Right? Is hey, we got to chill out and focus on things that matter. Right? And so the game's played between the whistles. You're not winning the game after the whistles, and the brand that we want to play takes an extreme amount of focus to execute at the level that we need to execute to be a good hockey team. So I thought about the second half of the game we were way better at that, and that's part of growing as a team. And I know it's a tournament and it's the end of the year, but we try to look at every opportunity to keep growing. And I thought our guys grew today.
We have a question in the front here.
Brendan Locke, Everything College Hockey. Porter beat out Nicing with about 25, 30 seconds left in the game. Not something that you probably see a ton from 6th overall picks who are 19 years old. Is that just sort of how he's wired, or when he came in July, September, did he come with sort of that mentality, or is that something that you sort of had to push him into?
No, I mean, we're not going to take credit for that. He's a winner. He comes from a great family. His dad was a hockey player. Played at a high level, and I think it's in him. I think that's kind of why he chose coming to Michigan State, right? He wanted to be part of a team, right? And he wasn't looking for promises or guarantees, and I think that excited him. And one thing he has done is he's gotten faster, right? I think when Porter originally we started recruiting him, it was pretty blunt conversation, right? You want to play in the NHL, you need to get faster, you need to play with more pace, you need to get stronger. And he totally agreed, and he's done that. I think he's spent a ton of time. We got a great strength coach to get faster, but I think at that moment in that game, that's you see a winning person, a winning player, and that's hardwired into him.
We'll do one or two more questions. I think you had one right here. Then we'll go Josh for the last one.
Chris Vogel, College Hockey on SI. You guys came out in the third period, really seemed to shut the game down. Were there any adjustments in that locker room in the second intermission?
No, I think it was taking a breath, right? Like, again, I thought there was a moment there in the second where we were, hair on fire a little bit, and it's like, guys, take a deep breath. We're a really good hockey team. We're in really good shape. This is what we've trained to do, and we just got to go out and execute. And great teams find a way to win games, And again, I would say that I thought UConn, for the first part of that game, was a better hockey team, but I thought in the third, that's something we can draw from, right? That, hey, and we've been in a lot of close games this year, and we found a way to put them away, and this was another example of just staying with it. But I would say it's less of adjustments, it's more mentality.
Yeah, then we'll go Josh for our last question.
Yeah. Josh Segan, College Hockey News. Obviously, the 3 penalties in the first period. Was that just overplaying the puck, or was it something else? And is that going to be a talking point going forward in this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we can't, we took 5, 3 in the first. I mean, that's not really a recipe to have success and keep your season going. But penalties are going to happen, and if we don't play on the edge, we're not a very good hockey team. And I thought Lindy's, he's a big, strong guy, and he needs to play physical. And at times, guys go down. The one on Niels's penalty, we probably a soft play breaking the puck out, and all of a sudden Niels is in a tough spot and he takes a tripping penalty. So obvious thing to work on and clean up, but I also think we gotta be right on the edge if we're gonna be a good hockey team.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Coach. We'll
Thanks.
see you Saturday.